everybody, welcome back to the final game of the round-robin portion of this UMH-68 tournament. We've got two teams both coming off of wins, looking to stay in the win column and generate some momentum going into the playoff rounds. Team Red taking on Team Black. We're going to do some player introductions now, and we're going to go into the roster for Team Red to begin with, starting with the Levi Barber, Jonah Gruder, Sam Switzer, Xavier Turin, Drennan Blair, and the forwards Boston Unser, Quinn Partington, Nolan Hubick, Oakland Rogers, Reed Kahovic, Tucker Strain, Hudson Gran, Cohen Kershane, and Carson Lamott. Gunnar Yachishin and Brian Thiel both in the net for the Team Red. Their head coach is Connor Middleton, head coach of the U14 Prairie Hockey Academy, and their ambassador Shane Smith of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Team Black on defense, Declan Scheidel, Maxine Christian, Andrew Pilipow, Keenan Williams, Brady Roth, Sutter Cecchini, and on the forward, Mason Livingstone, Rylan Bergen, Weston Filson, Jax Fellner, Walker Parkinson, Jackson Walter, Brody Grimm, Sawyer Guntoniuk, Braden Quo, and the goaltenders Lachlan Horn and Teo Otitoju. And their head coach, Darcy Bear, head coach of the Warman Wildcats AAA U18, and their ambassador, Rylan Pierce of the Everett Silvertips. As we mentioned, both teams coming off of great wins last night with offensive output taking a big role here. And we saw in the last game, goals come in bunches. We want to acknowledge, before we get started, our national level sponsors. UMH-68 runs 4 events currently, this being the lone Saskatchewan one, and BioSteel are there for all 4 of them as the national sponsor, as is Iron Ghost Construction based out of Vernon, British Columbia, and Elite Prospects. Our gold sponsors in this event are Up My Hockey and the Up My Hockey broadcast. Thanks to all of those national sponsors for their continued support through scholarship and other resources available to make these weekends possible for our young men. We have some provincial sponsors as well, and we're going to start with some of the sponsors of our individual game awards. We will present 4 game award winners after these contests, as we've done the entire time. The game's Grit and Grind Award is sponsored by Weatherspoon Realty. Weatherspoon, looking to buy or sell a home, whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team. Well, that delivers results. And locally, Ritchie Brothers Auction, here based out of Martensville, are providing support for the 3-star awards that are awarded to top performers after each of these. Ritchie Brothers presenting and powering big moves on and off the rink. Up My Hockey 68 would like to thank our national sponsors. And this is the final of the 6 games that will determine 1st through 4th. If you tuned in to the cast earlier, I incorrectly pointed out that the tiebreaker in this instance would have been goal differential. The reality is that the tiebreaker is actually in the head-to-head format. Of course, coming into this morning, all of the teams had a 1-win, 1-loss format. And so with Team Gray's victory there, they are guaranteeing some form of involvement in that final pick. But given the fact that they lost one of their games, and that was to Team Black, they lose the head-to-head. So that doesn't guarantee them first place. If Team Black wins this contest, Black would have a good case and will actually move forward. But if Team Black happens to lose and Team Red moves forward with the format, and we're going to see a couple of instances, for example, that Team Blue having won their first game, but then losing in significant fashion, those lopsided scores aren't going to factor as much as that head-to-head win. So stay tuned as the broadcast goes on. We're going to give you that fully developing broadcast picture, but 1 through 4 still very much up for grabs here, and of course those semifinals will take part in the evening part of the schedule here. This is the last game this morning, and then some of these valuable off-ice sessions will take place during the afternoon portion of the Invitational. And we're going to get started now with our opening face-off, and Tucker Strain in for Team Red, and Team Walker Parkinson taking the draw, and it is going to be a win for Strain, but Black quickly jumping into the play, and that's Jackson Walter. He had a couple of tallies last night, and that puck cycling up. First puck directed towards the net, courtesy of Sutter Cicchini. And Cicchini's shot, and he's now back with Pilipao on defense. And they get that puck back up, and there's a scrum now right at the center ice by the Team Black bench. Puck now into Pilipao's hands, and Cicchini will turn back. And he's still on the puck. And Cicchini manages to get it up to the line, but it is not out. And now we've got Parkinson. And now Cicchini, he makes his way, and he's now deep in the corner. And he's at the end of a shift now. Starting this game, shift total getting into around that 1 minute, and the first shifts are occurring, and we go for an icing call. And 18:53, both teams still looking for their first shot on net. Our goaltenders for the start of this contest, Lachlan Horn, he gets the game, and Lachlan will probably be in for the entire game because Teo Otatuju played the entire second game, and that strategy for Team Black to play that full instead of having them split time. And Brian Thiel from Leduc, Alberta, getting the start for Team Red, and he gets his first touch of the game. Nice stop, and the face-off will be to the right of Thiel. We have Team Red going left to right here for us, and then of course from the broadcast area here, Team Black will be going right to left. And that second shot, Brady Roth from Okotoks with the shot there. And some of the early pressure now, Team Black with the draw, and they get the win here. Puck back to Roth now, and Roth puts it back into the corner. And Bergen, who's had a number of scoring games here, multi-point games, his line out now. And Scheidel, the big D-man from Nipawin, is there, and now we've got Bergen again, and that puck ends up in the stick of Team Red. And Team Red, if you were watching yesterday, had an abysmal performance in the morning game. And they were dropped 8-2 by a really strong Grey squad, and then suddenly started to click and had an outpouring of things. And we got our first goal on a relatively innocent shot, and Team Black on the board, Mason Livingstone. And Livingstone, no stranger to the score sheet. He gets early success, and it looks like Quo and Bergen will get the assists here based on the order of the hand taps. And we'll see the puck drop. 17:56, our first goal scored, and that is Livingstone with the goal. And now with the pushback, Lamont. And Lamont had a huge game yesterday. Big frame player, and he's got speed. And Hudson Gran in this line of Lamont, Gran, and probably still, yeah, it is Kahovic. That line were devastating in terms of their ability to score the goal and demoralize Team Blue yesterday. And off the crossbar, right off the get-go, Hudson Gran.
Goal scored by number 9, Mason Livingstone.
And Gran putting a little body on there too. A nice, well-developed Maxime Christian from his defensive spot gets that puck up ice, and now Black with another opportunity, but Red coming down and Hudson Gran hitting the crossbar there, and that was close to equalizing things out. And so we're going to see more of the Game 2 version of Red than we did in Game 1. And in fact, even in that Game 1, Red struggled in the first 2 periods and suddenly found their form with even scoring a short-handed tally and had some success in Game 3, or pardon me, in the 3rd period, and then rolled that success into the second game. And this is promising to be this and the black versus gray contest. This is going to be a dandy here as 2 teams riding the high of a win, looking to continue on. And Sawyer Guntoniak there with the puck, and Filipao shot wide, and Jackson Walter keeps the puck alive. And now we'll see if Red gets out, and that puck just getting past the line of scrimmage. And then Kershane with the pressure, pardon me, Tucker Strain. And that shot, a laser, and it stays out, but wow, what a shot there. If we had instant replay, that would be one that we were for sure going to be picking up on there, but an amazing shot. And there's Unser now, Austin Unser, and here's the first tough save made by the goalie, Lachlan Horn. And Horn, second touch there, he can't quite corral the rebound, and so play continues. And out of the corner, Walker Parkinson, and all the way down, Samuel Switzer, finding some room up front, and he gets that outlet pass, and he's jumped. And that going down hard was Oakland Rogers. Rogers with a couple goals yesterday as well. He found his mark, especially in the latter half of that game. And Bergen makes the move, and he's inside. A little bit of dramatics there. We saw one of that attempt, but Bergen got it off that bit, pulled between the leg. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to try that. A little bit of pressure on him. He got the drag through, but he just ran out of the room here. And looking at the replay, that didn't miss by much. You love to see that. A little bit of confidence there. And hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that work, but well defended, a good save there. Good positional save. That big frame of Brian Fields snuffed that out. That could have been a nice dandy of goal. And we're now a feed in front. Livingston again. He had the original goal. Bergen with the shot. And now he'll go off for the change. And up the ice with the counterattack. Hubick putting the puck on a Corshane stick. And that puck chipped out. And now Livingston again. And Livingston making an early push offensively here for his team black. Coach Bear's got to like the hustle of that boy. And now he is coming off, and Filson and Fellner, those two little buzzsaws from yesterday caused me fits. They were just interchangeable, so we're going to probably get their names wrong, but Filson, and now Filson's out, and Fellner, those two with really strong, aggressive forecheck. We'll just treat them as a duo. They clicked extremely well yesterday and look like they're doing the same thing again. And now Team Black with the puck in their zone and settling back in from his D spot with that distinctive blue helmet, Keenan Williams. And now the puck touch pass by Hudson Gran, and Gran challenged by Pilipo. Good little battle there in the corner, and Gran wins that one, comes out, and it's chipped ahead by Lamotte. And this line of Lamotte, Gran, and Kahovic were really strong, and no call there in the corner. They're gonna say play through. He must have tripped on his own account. And Kahovic, he's got that puck tied up, getting in there, Gran. And Gran knocked off the puck, Filson. And now we've got a break up the ice by the Team Black. And it looks like Sutter Cicchini, pardon me, he provides the push to get that puck out. And now puck up onto Gran's stick, and he's just bumped slightly off of there by Roth. Roth doing well to get a little bit of a body on Gran. and he gets him off his timing and unable to get into that danger spot. And the score remains with 12:35, 1-0 in favor of Team Black after that early goal. And here's Roth, takes the shot, and it deflects high up and hits the glass. Now, one of the things we've been doing in this third game is taking a look at some of these players, especially the ones that are playing those foundational roles, maybe not necessarily getting on the score sheet, but really being the backdrop. Roth being one of those players on Team Black. Just excellent work. And Williams and Scheidel as well. A couple of really solid defensive D guys providing that backstop to allow a lot of that offense to occur. And there's Switzer, another one of our Alberta players. He's also one of those guys, maybe isn't factoring so heavily on the score sheet, but just doing such a great job. Goaltender favorites for sure, providing that backstop ability to make sure that the damage is limited. And now coming on up, we've got Red, it makes the zone, and it is Quinn Partington and his line looking to see if they can crack the Black defenders and make the first goal happen for Team Red. A much lower scoring affair than we have seen so far. And there's Maxime Christian, another one of those solid D guys from here in Livingston. Lighten her up again. He hasn't had a shot he doesn't like so far. Levi Barber, he's able to get the clear. Now Barber, puck back on his stick, and he gets it back in. And up the boards we go for Drennan Blair. And now Bergen. And just a little bit offside. Braden Quo in there. Boston Pizza at UMH-68. We're grateful for their incredible support. Not only are they fueling our players with meals at the banquet, they're also keeping our coaches energized with lunch during the event. Boston Pizza, great food, good times, and proud supporters of youth hockey. And now Pilipau. He stumbles it, but he's able to recover. He gets the puck in on the stick of Quo. Quo now, Bergen doubled up there on the boards. He's getting a lot of attention. Obviously Team Red highlighting, and we don't want to let him loose, and so he got that triple protection there, and he's still battling with the puck. Puck put back in by Cicchini. And Pilipau and Cicchini monitoring the blue line now for Team Black. And they are not allowing anything to go through. And Bergen, he's able to get up there. And Blair and Bergen, they dust it up. And Bergen ends up on the ice. And Blair getting the better of that collision. Puck in front though, and Bergen, he'll take that hit if it gives him a chance to get that scoring chance. And Brian Thiel gets his big frame across, and he's able to do it. And a little bit of push and shove here. And this is exciting to see. Both teams looking for just a little bit of an edge. And yesterday, Coach Podolin, Jason Podolin, the UMH National Director, having sessions on the mindset of the game. And as the legs start to get a little bit fatigued, a little bit of that mental game starting. And you saw a little bit of that with that gamesmanship and that push and shove matchup, which is really good to see, actually. And Thiel, that puck, wow. We're talking about some of the impact that some of the defensive play has had, and that one is certainly an example. And Kahovic providing some D support, and he steers that puck. It got through Thiel, and he thought he had it, and there was no whistle. Kahovic knew exactly where it was, and he did well to keep that puck out from his winger spot. And it stays 1-0 at the 9:22 mark now of the first period, and still 1-0. And now we're starting to see a little bit of rough stuff there, and they're still letting that happen, but it is a premier scoring event. But now that's probably a bit, and we're getting a little bit of some collision, and I think Weston Filson, he's going to get a penalty for a couple. It looked like an accumulation. They may have missed that first one, but Stripes kept an eye, and we're walking a line here, and Filson maybe went a little bit on the opposite side of that line, and so he's going to get some time to think about it. Probably a good call from the Stripes, and we're going to see our first power play of the game. Red going on the offensive, and Red, this is unfamiliar territory because They were on the penalty kill 4 times yesterday, and they haven't enjoyed too much power play time, so we're going to get a chance to see this. Switzer captaining it up from there. He gets a shot down low, and it deflects over, and it's on the hands of Walter. And so Red will regroup, trying to make their way up, get a little bit of
2 minutes for hit contact. Time of penalty of 9
some time, and coming out of his zone now is Partington. And Maxime Christian, he got that stretch pass, jumps it back in, and holding the fort here, Team Black. And there's another collision. We've seen probably more contact in this game than we saw in the first 5 games. And as we get deeper into this tournament, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of that physical aspect perhaps, and especially we talked about the conditioning and the importance conditioning has played. And we've got a shorthanded attempt here and a shot, and Thiel took that one up high and kept it out, and now up comes Team Red again, and it's Unser, and the second penalty kill unit or power play unit out there. Unser with some speed brings it in, and that puck gets cleared, and it was Sutter Cicchini with the clear there. Second unit now out, Cicchini and Pilipao, the bottom 2, and Bergen, and looks like Sawyer Gantoniak. So we got Gantoniak, Bergen, Pilipao, and Cicchini out killing the penalty, and that puck able to get out, and an offside called with 7:28 remaining in the period. Team Black dominating the shots on goal with 10. Team Red mustering just 3. And now they're hoping to get a few more pucks on net here, and now Drennan Blair, as he did in the earlier game, Blair comes in. He's got a good shot there, and we're going to see him use that a little bit more. And Blair made a few things happen. He had a goal yesterday bringing that puck in and making that rush, and he was rewarded with a goal in that second game of the contest. And now Rogers, one of the other goal scorers, he puts that in, and Kershane and Rogers and Hubick, this line able to get the back of the net a couple of times. They're looking to see if they can spark some offense here for Team Red. And we are not used to a tight game like this, and it's good. And there's a chance right in front, and it looked to me like Drennan Blair got a stick on that, and that's why it went wide. Now Blair battling in the corner there, and then Filson right out of the penalty box, and he's back with the physical ways, and then Scheidel putting that down into the corner, and there's Blair again. Seems to be everywhere on the defensive side of the play, and Roth, Blair knocking Roth down, and Roth getting back up, and now he might get another crack, and he takes a little bit of a run at Blair, and we'll keep an eye on that one too. A little bit of defense on defense. Roth not taking too kindly to Blair's approach to hockey, and both of those guys went off for a rest, and now we've got Hudson Gran. This guy can do some damage. He's got some speed, and same here for Kahovic. This has been a really good line for Team Red. You got the big frame of Lamotte, and then you got 2 little buzzsaws like Gran and Kahovic, and here comes Gran. Bergen trying to track him down, and Bergen with that huge stick of his, he's able to get in there, and he strips the puck, and up the ice we go. Team Black now. That puck cleared in, and it's brought in by Braden Quo, and he's lurking there in the high slot area. Let's see if Livingston can dig that puck out. He's the goal scorer, the lone goal scorer in this game early on, and it's 5:04 to go in the first period. And now with a push up the ice, we got Brooks Mahalitz. And Mahalitz, that shot didn't miss by much. And here comes Boston Unser, and he cycles it down to Gran. Gran with the sauce pass over to Mahalitz, and Mahalitz's shot is deflected in the corner. And Lamotte up to Gruder. Gruder, his shot drifts in there, and we got a stick, not a high stick, and it ends up covered up by Lachlan Horn. Red with a little bit of a pushback now. That shot's on goal, still standing at 11-5 in favor of Black with 4:32 remaining in the period. As mentioned, BioSteel is one of our primary national sponsors. Quick shout out to them. They just dropped a hydration variety pack at Costco. 24 bottles, 3 unreal flavors. Clean, healthy hydration for athletes and families. Grab it next time you're at Costco. BioSteel, the national sponsor for UMH-68. And action resuming here. Gontoniak, he comes in from his left side and he gets a shot on net, kicked aside by Brian Thiel. And that puck centered in front. And Thiel, he's able to cover it up. And no pushback from Red on that last play there. Thiel covering up, and a stick or two in there after the whistle potentially. But cooler heads prevail, and we get to the face-off to the right of Thiel. And that one won by Team Red, and Partington now, he will try to ride that puck up, then he gates out of the zone, and Partington, puck on his stick again. A little bit in the neutral zone, and then coming through Switzer, he gets it in behind the net. And now coming through is Strain and Unser, and Switzer will go back to collect it. And that goes for an icing. We're once again drawing attention and thankful for Iron Ghost Construction, a platinum sponsor for all 4 national UMH-68 events. As a dedicated platinum sponsor of UMH-68, Iron Ghost has provided player scholarships at all 4 of the events, helping young athletes chase their dreams on and off the ice. Both Iron Ghost and the Up My Hockey podcast providing funds to families to help lessen the financial burden if one should exist. Both organizations very much wanting to make sure that finances are not what keeps these players away. And a big hit there, and that was Declan Scheidel electing to take the body. Now Fellner, and more bodies flying. Kubik this time, when Fellner was able to carry in, and Filson and Fellner now, and they are buzzing, looking for a go-ahead goal here. Getting up to 60, and now Drennan Blair, and Blair and Scheidel. Scheidel able to chip it out, and Scheidel taking a look now. He's got some open men, and he gets that into Fellner. Filson now picking up the puck and waiting over on the far side there, line mate Brody Grimm. And Maxime Christian, he gets in there behind, and now we've got the line of Grant and Kahovic and Lamont. Lamont waiting in the high slot area. Kahovic doing some work down low. And he is stripped of the puck, but it comes right up to the slot. And that puck deflected by Hudson Grant. He got that right on the shaft of the stick between both hands, and that almost bounced in. And now Mahalitz puts it back into Grant's hands. Grant chips it forward. Kahovic in the corner. Christian trying to knock him off the puck is Filson. And now Maxime Christian getting there, and unable to knock him off the puck is Kahovic, keeping it live, and that chip in front, Lamont and Grant couldn't get it. Or Red now with some offensive. Mahalitz with the tip. Oh, Red all over. Black doing everything they can. Another shot, another tip. And Mahalitz now, and now we got an on-man rush up. And it's Fellner, and he's got Bergen, and Fellner, his shot tipped and into the hands of Brian Thiel. Exciting sequence there. And Red unable to find the back of the net. And we might go into this break with 1 goal. I might be able to get a coffee. I'll have such a short scoring summary there. We've had a couple instances where we've had 10, 12 goals scored in a period. This one a low-scoring affair, and that shows how evenly matched these two squads are. And an indication of the brand of hockey we're going to be expecting to see here in the second half of this tournament. And now, puck in the hand, Unser is going, he's being tracked down by Cicchini, and Cicchini is able to get the better of that one. Hunts are in, but Lachlan Horn able to keep that puck out, and we've got ourselves an offside. Elite Prospects is the gateway to hockey, online since 1999. EliteProspects.com is the #1 statistical hockey resource, serving over 1 million unique visitors weekly. And the face-off now, Strain and Quo. And Quo wins that one. And now digging it out, and Partington, a little bit of body. We're seeing a little bit of physicality, more so than we've seen in the previous 5 games. And these players now coming in, and Cicchini feeds it over to Livingston, and now he gets back onto the blue line, and his D partner Pilipo filling in on the right side for him, and Bergen and Quo and Livingston in front, and Thiel, he got the better of that one, and he comes up with his 14th stop of the game. Thiel seeing a lot of action here after sitting out the entire game yesterday. Gunnar Yachishin playing the full game for Team Red. Both teams approaching the full game format for their goaltenders, having split in the previous games. Now both electing to give them the entire 3 periods, probably for some flow. We saw a situation in the attempt to balance the goaltending where goaltenders coming in midway have struggled a little bit, and so a 1-0 finish so far to this period. And so the shots on goal stand 9-15 in favor of Team Black, and Black holds the edge where it matters most, in the goal, on the Livingston goal. And that's actually our period 1 summary, is that initial goal from Livingston is the decider right at the moment. We'll get the assists on that one. Stay tuned in the second intermission. We are going to be joined by Shane Smith, one of our from the Lethbridge Hurricanes. He's here as an ambassador, providing a little bit of insight as to what it's like for goalies and goals, or pardon me, for players playing at that next level. And we'll take a look at the, I'm having a little trouble pulling this up in terms of the, there we go, here's the scoring summary. And of course Livingston with the only goal, an assist from Ryland Bergen and Braden Quo, and that's where it stands, 1-0 after 1 period of play. Live here at the Martensville Recreation Center for the first ever UMH-68 U14 Challenge, and we're joined today by the Prairie's Regional Director, Hugh Hamilton. Hugh is a community member here in Martensville and former professional hockey player himself. Hugh, tell us a little bit about how you brought this event to Martensville.
Well, I spoke to the boys a little bit yesterday about connections, and connections are so important in any facet of life, but I've really found as I'm getting older that the connections that you make in your past really make things happen in the future. And so Jason and I were teammates over 30 years ago, and when he called me about a year ago asking, would you like to help with a hockey tournament? I said, absolutely, because that's what you do for your friends, and here we are. I can't believe how much work this has been, and how amazing the experience has been, not just for the kids, but for myself.
Now, we've had the first day, which involved the testing and some of the earliest sessions with families and with players. We're now into the game part, you know, sort of like the payoff, and it's a really quick turnaround. What are your expectations for the rest of the weekend? What do you hope the kids bring from this event, and maybe even their families?
Well, going back to that, it's the connections part. You know, for a lot of these kids, this is the first time where it's this type of an event, so it's probably not going to be their last. So having the experience of going into a dressing room, not knowing the coach, not knowing your teammates, knowing the schedule, but still it's a little bit new. It might be a new rink that you haven't been playing at. So, being able to have the experience of having all of those different things happen will benefit them in the future when it goes live, when it's for real.
Now, you mentioned Jason as the national director of the program. You've brought in a couple of local coaches with a lot of experience and the ambassadors. Can you tell me a little bit about the coaches that you brought to the event?
Well, I was telling the boys last night at the banquet that you try and surround yourself with the people that will bring you up. And so the people that I reached out to initially were the people that I know. And so Courage Bear has been a friend for years, and he's just an amazing human being that is a local coach and the leader of the Indigenous Sports Academy in Saskatchewan. So that was a no-brainer. Ryan Keller, ex-coach of the Saskatoon Blades and an ex-pro hockey player who is another just a quality human that cares about kids and cares about kids getting better. So the third guy, Jason Gordon, has been a friend for years. We actually went through our master's program. We had classes together, so he's an educator out in Yorkton, and Jason is the head coach out in Yorkton. So another just a great person that wants kids and believes in really great things. And then finally, just Connor Middleton from the Prairie Hockey Academy. He came on board a little bit later, but the more I get to know Connor, you can tell that he wants to coach and he's interested in getting better. So really proud to have those four men here.
And what's the role of the ambassadors, the four WHL guys you brought in?
So the ambassadors, Jason talks a lot about giving back to the game, and those young men that are currently playing in the Western Hockey League have the ability to be with the young players and talk to them about their behavior and maybe even some things on the bench that they're noticing. So it's almost like a mentor, but it's also an opportunity for the ambassadors to be themselves in front of the guys and maybe even come out of their comfort zone, making sure that they're talking and that they're talking to all the kids on the team. So
this event is featuring 2012 born players. I want you to put yourself back into that 12-year-old Hugh. What, if 12-year-old Hugh was playing here, what do you think would be the most exciting part about the event from his perspective?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So when Jason actually, I didn't know his Genesis story. So he spoke of that yesterday, and when he designed the event, he designed it with exactly what you're talking about. He thought, what would it be cool for me to have as a kid? And he talked a little bit about one of the tournaments where he won an All-Star award as like a 10-year-old kid. And so all of those little fine details, Jason is just an absolute expert at. And so for me personally, as a 12-year-old kid, I think I just loved being on the ice, Dave. I just loved playing. So I think just being around the guys and being on the ice. Jason's more of the first star award kind of guy. Which is lots of kids. He's nailed every detail, like all of the jerseys and the pant shells and all of the socks. Like the uniforms look amazing. All the kids get little swag bags, which that's somebody's jam, and so you're going to hit a whole bunch of different kids here. Yeah,
and I guess one of the last things to ask is this event doesn't happen by itself. I mean, obviously there are national sponsors and with BioSteel and Elite Prospects Hockey, and what are some of the local people that have stepped up and to really help this event?
Well, it's the same idea as the coaches. So when I knew the event was going to happen, of course you reach out to the people that you know, and so my brother-in-law he works for Ritchie Brothers Auctioneer Canada, and so they came on early and became a big sponsor. Blaine and Morgan Witherspoon with Witherspoon Realty is a friend of mine in town, and so they're a realty company that does a lot of work in the area. Matt Hale with Ainsworth Refrigeration is also a buddy that came on really early. So, and then it's just other little gifts in kind, like Smiznik, Tynan Smiznik and Folk Goaltending, and Brad Bame with Bame Fitness, and the list goes on and on of just people that are Alyssa Borowski with Boston Pizza, just kind people that believe in their community.
That's awesome, Hugh. We'll probably bring you back a little later in the tournament just to see whether everything, how it went for you. This is the first time, and but just thanks for joining us on the broadcast today. This is Hugh Hamilton, Provincial Director for the UMH-68, the first U14 invitational that we've been hosting here in Saskatchewan. We're really excited to be here this weekend.
All right, we're back for the second frame here, the second period after a tight 1-0 first period. We're not used to this. We've been seeing scoring galore, and so for the defensive enthusiasts, and a pretty good indication how tight the contest is going to be getting as we get closer and closer to the end of this. This is the last game of round robin play, and we will be determining who are going to be our first through fourth finishers, and then we'll have semifinal rounds tonight after a break in the afternoon. The UMH-68 U14 Saskatchewan edition is the first time we have hosted an event here, but we have this as a national event taking place in 4 different locations, and we enjoy great deal of sponsorships from 4 main areas, and they are Iron Ghost Construction, based out of Vernon, British Columbia, Elite Prospects, the online hockey source for information and recruitment, and BioSteel, safe, natural, no additive, no sugar beverages to hydrate your family and your players through all activities. And then, of course, the Up My Hockey organization, headed by Jason Podolin, and he is currently doing a session with the other 2 squads out in the mezzanine area, talking about mindset and such an important aspect of this. And you can see mindset playing very heavily into 2 teams who have come off of wins so far in their latest games and are looking to add and keep themselves in contention for a good placement in those playoff games moving forward. And so play going on at the moment, and now it's Team Black putting the pressure on. They are holding a small 1-goal margin here, but Team Red were buzzing, almost getting themselves back in on the score sheet. And both teams, and wraparound attempt there, and wraparound attempt stopped by Thiel. And we're going to get a penalty here. Partington catching a little piece of Jackson Walter, and Walter's back turn, and he will go to the gate and spend 2 minutes thinking about his body positioning there. And Walter is up quickly, and he's a big player, and he had a good position, but they're doing a little bit of conversation at the moment just to assess what the infraction would look like, and we'll get a little bit more of a feedback. But we're going to have a face-off to the left of Thiel here, and it's 2 minutes for roughing is what it looks like is going to be the call. And so Team Black will go to the power play for the first time, and it was Team Red yesterday that was 4 straight penalty kills en route to a very large margin victory. And so they're used to killing penalties, and as you can see, Mahalit's almost getting that puck out. And they held it in line with Philippau. And Cicchini now, he's got a little time, and he's going to take a look. Cicchini still with the puck, and he gets a shot on net, and Thiel able to get that pad and keep it down. And Cicchini making a little bit of space for himself, and he got that shot low, and Thiel had to think quickly to make sure he got there. And Quo now, with his line of Bergen, Quo, and Livingston, this line has been very effective at scoring. And the Lamont, it looks like Lamont and Gruder up there on the line, and Brooks Mahalit's also in providing some support, and Kershane. And Lamont and Kershane have proven to be a handful as penalty killers. They've got a couple of shorthanded goals between them, and they look like they are wanting to do more. And a good tip in front, and Quo got a good look at it, and not quite enough to get through, but that wasn't an easy shot. Another tough spot, and Quo, and what a sequence for the goalie. Fantastic work by Brian Thiel, keeping things in. There was 4 saves there in short order, none of them easy ones. And he was able to effectively, great balance, able to keep himself in 2 deflections at the very least, 2 at the doorstep, and he keeps this a 1-goal margin. Great effort by Thiel. And he's getting some good support now. 1 guy taking on 2 down low, and that's Mahalit's. And Mahalit's working hard, puck off the back of the net now, and coming around looking at it. It looks like it's Fellner, and Fellner sees an open guy and unable to get out above Quo. And that puck cycling back down again, and in the hands of Fellner, and they're getting close to the end. Williams with the puck in the corner, and that pass is picked up, and Lamont unable to get it clear. But we've got Partington is now out. Partington at center ice, and there's Lamont. And Lamont with the shot, and first save of the period for Lachlan Horn. And now Red having to regroup back, and here comes Fellner. And Fellner He's got time on there, but recognizing that he needs to get off, he just dumps it in, and he'll go for a rest. And oh no, Fellner's decided he's going to stay out. All right, Gruder passing across over to Switzer. And that puck chipped into the Grimm in the corner. Grimm looking to center it now. Filson cycles it back up to the point, and Scheidel still with the puck. He's the tallest player in the tournament, standing 6 foot, 260 pounds. And Scheidel getting in on it, and oh, good feet across, but he isn't able to get the one-timer strain now. Just dumps it into the corner, and Switzer rounds it out. And the outlet pass just jumping over top of the stick of Unser. Puck cycled down now to Roth. Roth takes a look up. And that ends up on the stick of Filson, but briefly. And now we've got Partington. And Partington with little time, he's all by himself, and that goes off just the outside of the net. And now coming back up with the counter punch. It looks like Grimm, and Grimm will just put it in, or try to get it in deep. And then Fellner looking, he's looking for numbers there, but they were changing at the time. And now Parkinson just spinning away from Drennan Blair, and then a shot on net. That one, Jackson Walter. And that probably doesn't go down as a shot on net. It would have missed, but a good effort by the goalie again. And now this buzzsaw line, these two guys causing fits for every defensive core they've got. Kahovic and Gran, and then let's see who they're partnered up with. Out comes Lamont. There's the combo that we saw figure so prominently on the score sheet earlier. Hey, player nutrition, very important here for us. And Ainsworth Refrigeration Company is the leader in HVAC and refrigeration solutions, known for their reliability, innovation, and commitment to community. Thank you to Ainsworth for supporting the next generation of hockey talent. Red now with a little bit of pressure in this group, and the shot waiting just high. Switzer does well to get that corralled, puts it back on net, and there's a chance. Oh, just shot up and out. Switzer, great reaction to get that puck corralled, and he puts it into a dangerous place, and those three forwards know exactly what to do. Lamont, he got a good whack at it before getting onto the stick, and I think that was Gran lifting it high. But Lachlan Horn wouldn't have, with good coverage there too, but Team Red sensing an opportunity here. Switzer puts it low, and Switzer, a couple of really good high IQ passes down there low, and he will go around and chase it down, and it goes for an icing. And that'll bring up a change from Team Red. We're going to be joined at the second period intermission by Team Ambassador Shane Smith of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. All four teams being assigned a player ambassador, almost as a coach slash mentor. In many cases, these young men are only 4 or 5 years removed from being U13, U14 types themselves, and the boys have had a wonderful opportunity to get a chance to hang out with somebody playing at the next level. So much of this tournament, of course, being the off-ice experience of what it's like to effectively play at an elite level like this. And that's where those ambassadors come in so handy. Each of them taking time out of their busy summer schedules to make some room for the boys. And that shot just, Drennan Blair. We're seeing some fantastic goaltending here, and this time it was Lachlan Horn. And he is able to stand tall, and maybe a little frustration on the part of several of these players. They're used to scoring in bunches, and both teams doing well, but we're seeing a clinic being put on by both. Brian Thiel especially, he's turned aside all but 26 of the shots he's had, 25 out of 26 saves, and it looks like they're going to bring that face off. What is... And penalty assigned to Hubick here, and that's why the face-off has moved its way down. We'll hear something happened at the end of that last whistle. Hubick getting the box, and Team Black back on the power play. But Partington able to sort of get control of that, and Black has to reset and puck into Scheidl's hands. Scheidl cycles it back up to the top of by the blue line and down into Fellner now. Fellner looking across in a nice cross-ice pass. Finds Brody Grimm. And now big load-up shot there from Roth. That was dangerous. And one of the harder shots you're going to see in this tournament, Scheidl and Roth just unloading there. 2 cannon shots. And you can see why they've quickly been selected to be on that power play. And Roth exchanging again. We saw this earlier, Roth, and a little bit of contact between him and Blair, and that time they both stand themselves up. And we get a change off. New penalty killers coming out for Team Black, and we're going to get a face-off penalty now assessed at the end of that play to Fellner. That's his second trip to the box, and we're going to see some 4-on-4. The first time we see some 4-on-4 play here. 4-on-4 action, and coming right up, Cecchini. And he loves this kind of format. He's got a good skating, hard defenseman, and a little bit more open ice here. And capitalizing on that, Coach Middleton and Team Red, he's put out Gran and Olsen. And coming around, nice stop by Thiel. Great stop. And a push back, Cecchini. He wanted to make something happen there, and Thiel wouldn't have anything to do with that. Brian Thiel standing in top there, 27 saves now. Thiel playing out of the Alberta Elite Hockey Leagues. He's got a big frame, 5'11", 140 pounds. He is not easy to knock off that puck, and he is showing why he's been invited to this tournament. Oh! And then seeing that, Walter with a shot. I don't think Thiel saw that. He just looked straight up. Sometimes putting that puck on the net. And Walter sees the opportunity, and he gives his team a 2-goal lead. And we're going to remain at 4-on-4. That doesn't nullify the penalty here. You're not getting a man advantage just by being scored on, and so it will stay 4v4. And now Bergen coming out, and he is going to take the draw here. Williams punching it forward, and now he goes in, puts a little bit of pressure on Switzer. And now up they go. Red looking for something to happen here, and it is Barber now. Puts it up, and you see Corshane. Corshane comes in, and he's got a shorty already. Not that we're in a short-handed situation, but he has proven to be very good at that transition game, and we saw evidence of that there. Dangerous opportunity for Corshane. And we're now 15 seconds to go in the penalty to Team Red's Hubick. And then there's going to have a short 50-second power play for Team Red. Maybe they'll be able to get the first marker of the game. They haven't been able to figure out Lachlan Horn yet. Horn stopping all 12 shots that have come his way. And Red pops it out into front of the net, and Switzer pops it back in, and out comes Hubick. And now a short power play for Team Red. 11:42 to go in the second period. And Hubick now pops it down to Barber. Barber looking up, and he finds, there we go, and he finds, that was Rogers, pardon me. And that puck crosses the line, and we've got offside, and we're going to see a change with 19 seconds to go in the power play. Iron Ghost Construction, as a dedicated platinum partner, has provided player scholarships at all 4 events, helping young athletes chase their dreams on and off the ice. Iron Horse Construction, platinum sponsor for UMH-68. And here comes Drennan Blair, and he's enjoying a little bit of room to move himself, and that puck shot out by Schottel right on net. And that will be the 30th shot that Filson, or 30th shot Thiel has faced at the midpoint of the game. And now Drennan Blair, he works his way through, tightly checked by Fellner. That shot into the corner, and now Hudson Gran, and he gets involved in the stick. Oh. And Kahovic, Lamont and Gran. Lamont got a couple of guys. Kahovic gets a touch on it, but that's before the red line. And that'll be an icing. You were looking to get that touch, but he was a little early. You usually want to get that when you're past the red line so you can get that offensive zone opportunity, but it'll go for an icing call, and back into their zone. Mahalitz and Gruder on the point, and then the Unser line, Partington, Unser, and Strain coming out. Or accurately, I think it's the Strain line. He takes the draw, and he wins it. And that puck fired back into the corner now, and out comes Mahalitz. And that puck stays in, and that shot off the shoulder, and Thiel with the stop. And that will look like that was Fellner. So the Fellner, Filson, and Grimm line. And they are Strain and Filson. And Filson wins that one. The puck back to the point. Shot on net. Good positional save. Filson and Fellner in there trying to dig it out. Grimm waiting at the top of the circle, and it's Strain, the center. He puts it down onto Mahalitz's six. Mahalitz got a streaking Partington. And Partington, that puck in his skates, and he's not able to do anything with it, and it comes back out, and Grimm chips it in, and Filson now. And Fellner trying to pull it out, and it is steered out and onto the stick of Unser, and Unser now getting a little bit of a jump on it. Unser off the crossbar, and that's the second crossbar we've seen for Team Red. They keep pushing. They're close, but no cigar at this point, and it still stands 2-0 with 9:18 to go in the second period. Partington now put a little mild pressure on, and that puck chipped out, and that'll end up down on the stick and fired back in. Switzer and Barber out now on defense for Red. And Kershane lurking there. He'll try a go at trying to strip the puck and make something happen here for Team Red. And it looks like Hubick, he's pulling that puck out. Line again, Hubick and Rogers. Now with the shot, Switzer with the shot just over top of the net. And that puck down now in deep. Red putting a little bit of pressure on here, and we'll see if it continues. Switzer with the pinch. And that puck eludes him, but it ends up chipped out. Team Black, just enough from Barber to set the timing off there. And Black unable to get any traction there. Elite Prospects is the gold sponsor for the event here. For youth hockey players, Elite Prospects is your very own online showcase to highlight your achievements, help secure future playing opportunities. Coaches, scouts, and schools at every level of the game consider Elite Prospects their one-stop shop. Discover future stars. And we're hopeful that some of that exposure forms part of the weekend here for these young men. Moving up the ice now, Williams with the cross-ice pass. And that's popped over by Brody Gontoniak, or pardon me, Sawyer Gontoniak. And now Barber out of his own zone, and it chipped up off the board by Gran. And pardon me, that's Gran. Now Kahovic was the one that chipped off Gran, looking. He can't make the point across, and he's picked clean there. And I think that puck hit somebody in one of the benches, and it's blown dead. And now we're looking, we'll see any officials. Yeah, it looks like it. Just trying to figure out where the placement of the puck goes. And we might be getting a penalty here. And it looks like 2 minutes. And I think there's a too many men call assessed to the bench, actually. I think that was the call. I saw 6 fingers held up there. Referee's call there. So we are going to get Team Red on the penalty kill again. And it was actually off of multiple penalty kills in the second period. That's where the spark came for Team Red. Probably not the game plan that Coach Middleton has for the game, but they have proven that they are able to score during that penalty kill situation, and maybe lightning strikes twice here. Oh, almost converted. Livingston had that opportunity, and now Unser goes down. Roth is on his heels. Unser down, Unser, and he is denied. Big stop by Lachlan Horn, and Horn continuing to keep the slate clean. That's his 13th stop, and that was a tough one. 7:15 to go in this second period, and Red with a good high-quality chance on the PK. Bergen now, he's looking to set things up, waiting for his defenders to show up. Cicchini now on the point, and Bergen moving in. He's got Pilipau and Cicchini. He elects to go to Pilipau. Pilipau with the shot, and that's steered wide. Now Switzer, oh pardon me, not Switzer. Turin with the initial whack at it, and Switzer able to put it back deep in, and now Strain putting a little bit of pressure here. 1 forechecker in on the PK. And Cicchini looking for somebody, setting it up, and he decides he's going to take it himself. And some pressure. Cicchini able to recover that pass, and Bergen now seeing a streaking. Oh, that shot wide. Grimm now picks it up. He gets it in, and that was, I think it's Filson there, and Filson with the shot, and he can't get it through. Filson with the second shot. Switzer blocked it first, and I think he might have blocked that second one too. You know, we've talked a little bit about those stay-at-home guys, and there's Switzer making an impact and a good stop there in a dangerous spot. And speaking of Switzer, he brings it out, and he's still got control of it. And that takes some time off the clock, and he comes in for a well-deserved rest. Blair now out of the penalty box, and so the PK still going strong for Team Red. And up comes Cicchini, and Cicchini sawing into play, and off the crossbar. We've got a couple of these crossbars. There's a bunch of snipers out there, and they're just dialing things in. In the morning, they've got it kind of slightly off. That ironwork getting some work out here. And now we got Parkinson, Walter, and Guntoniak out. Williams on the line with his partner, Maxime Christian. Now, we talked about Christian yesterday, just how solid he's been playing on that defense. And now we got a 2-on-1. And what a grab. Lachlan Horn. He is locked in for sure. Can't believe I didn't come up with that one sooner, but Lachlan, he's keeping things, everything in front of him. 14 saves now. And Team Red still looking for an answer. And now Maxime Christian, he goes behind the net there, and Keenan Williams working that puck up and having a little trouble getting it out. Now it gets chipped past Gruder. And Gruder and Mahulit's now out playing defense for Red, and that puck goes all the way down, and it didn't touch Gruder's stick, and the call is icing at the 4:54 mark left in the second period. Just a reminder, Shane Smith of the Lethbridge Hurricanes will be joining me up on the mezzanine level here for an interview, talk about his role as ambassador for Team Red at this first ever UMH-68. We've got a couple of local-based WHL guys, and that puck went cleanly back to Blair. Blair with the shot, and Kahovic, he comes up with it, and Horn unable to come down. Puck stays active here, and now we get that chip out. Antoniak able to get it through, and Walter, and we get the freeze. And now Yashishin is in. Gunnar Yashishin comes in relief here. Thiel, under siege, did very well, stopping all but 2 of those initial shots. And so now Gunnar Yashishin in. And Lachlan Horn on the other end, putting on a clinic. Not a lot of shots getting through on him, but those that he has had, a couple of them been tricky, and he's been good. But we've got a challenge here, 3 on, and Roth, the lone guy back, and he's able to counter. And now we've got an odd man rush here for Black. And a little bit of breakdown here creates a little bit of back and forth motion, not really resulting in very much. But now Hudson Gran, and you know that Gran would love some open ice space to deal. And he's unable to get his hands at Filson. He gets in there, and now Lamont, he just fires it straight out, and unfortunately that'll go back into the red zone, but he looked like he needed some rest, and out comes a fresh set of forwards for Team Red. In fact, wholesale change. Switzer back on D along with Barber, and then we've got Unser and Strain and Partington, and they will try to get something going here. And that face-off went right on the stick of Bergen. And Barber now out and lost it in his feet. And now we've got a break here for Team Black, and it's a goal. Just a little bit of a breakdown, and Braden Quo, the recipient of that one, and he puts him up 3-0. Braden Quo makes them pay in a game of very few mistakes. Quo, the beneficiary of that, and he finds the back of the net again. I'm so excited. You can tell there's a tiny bit of fatigue out there and a little bit of friendly fire, so to speak. Both players are fine, but at 3:45 to go in the second period, Team Black doing everything that they need to. A really tight checking game, and in there again, Quo looking for more. Livingston, and that one finds the glove of Gunnar Yashishin. And Mahalitz and Gruder coming out now, and along with the Hubick line, Hubick, Rogers, and Kershane, and we'll see if this line is able to come up with an answer, something, looking for something for Red to get back into this hockey game. They're looking for their first goal, and this could be promising. That was close, it had some legs. Gruder keeping it in with just a shot on net. That was a knuckler, and Lachlan Horn had to pay attention to those. Those ones go sometimes, they're deceptive, but Horn is dialed in right now, and he's enjoying himself out there. Lachlan Horn from Saskatoon, played for the Saskatoon Fury last year, and he's having a whale of a game here. And that puck drawn back to Gruder. Kershane, and a shot right into the midsection, and another shot by Kahovic. And that puck down to Mahalitz. And we'll see if we go back to Mahalitz. There, puck in the corner by Kershane. Kershane looking, he's at the circle, and he elects to shoot. And a nice disciplined play. I think Filson got his stick on that. And Coach Bear's got to be pretty happy. His team playing all facets of the game very, very well. And a team that certainly enjoys scoring goals has bought into a system where they are very much focused on taking care of things. And Roth, Coach Bear put him over onto that far side, and Roth dumps the Red player, and out they come. And Blair now, he's got a little bit of room, and let's see if he's able to generate some activity. Blair, he pulls up, and he can't solve. And Scheidel gives him the business at the end of there. And there's Kershane on the point after the Blair rush, and back up to the point. And Scheidel still staying down low. And Kershane unable to corral it. It deflects its way, and it comes out in Grimm now, putting a little bit of pressure. 2:19 to go in the second period. And Blair, we'll see if he can get his feet moving. Very mobile defenseman here. And he continues. He's hard to knock off the puck, and he gets that puck in behind, and that bounces dangerously. And now we've got Xavier Turin, and we get the puck in fact for Hudson Grant, and now Blair looking for some movement. Hubick, Blair taking an extra step, and a couple bottles flying there, and Kahovic, he's taking an opportunity there to put a little bit of a body onto Declan Scheidel. And now coming across, Black setting up, and that cross ice pass doesn't find anything. He goes right through the blue paint. Now Hudson Grant, and they've done a good job. Grimm puts a little body on Grant, and a goal. And he just drifted that one in. Weston Filson, that one he eludes. It fluttered a little bit, maybe gets the better of Gunnar Yashishin, and it is now 4-0. 1:08 to go. That's the 40th shot on goal. And basically on a shot per minute pace here. And all facets of the game working for Team Black. And this bodes well for them moving forward. Of course, if they win this game, that will put them through as the first place finisher, because in the Black versus Gray, the other two-win team, in the head-to-head, Black will have won that contest. And so should this continue, of course, we saw Red explode in the second period in the game last night. And so they know that they can put up some numbers, and so there's still some work. And Lamont might be able to get a bit of a start on that. Nothing going. Cicchini giving him no room at all, and he gets a stick on that, and that puck flies out. 38 seconds remain in the second period. And once again, Shane Smith is going to come up and join us here, player ambassador for Team Red. We had a really great visit earlier on with one of our ambassadors. He just talked about the idea of having a wonderful time with the boys, lots of humor, and just an opportunity to keep things a little light. Sometimes in a format like this, there can be that tension in the nerves, and the ambassadors do a great job of just kind of keeping things light, but focused at the same time. Ultimately, the main messaging from the head coaches yesterday, of course, is we're here for fun. We play sport for a good time. We also want to be accountable to the team and to everything in all the sports that got us here. But just a wonderful opportunity, and those ambassadors play a big role, and we're going to get a chance to see what Shane Smith has done in the offseason, the Lethbridge Hurricane product. And we're going to get you the scoring summary. 3 goals in that in that third period. Taking a look here, we'll pull up that scoring summary. And so, still a relatively tight affair here. Second period scoring summary. Things stayed relatively tight until the 12:28 mark, when Jackson Walter able to capitalize on a mistake and scores with Andrew Pilipo in on the goal. And then Braden Quo with the 3:46 mark received a pass from Ryland Bergen, and he finds the back of the net. And then Weston Filson just putting something into space after getting a good pass from Jackson Walter. He scores with 1:08, and that gets us to the 4-0 score we see here after 2 periods of play. right, we're joined up here by one of our game ambassadors, Shane Armstrong, currently with the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the WHL. And Shane, how did you come to become involved in this tournament?
I move out to Saskatchewan for the summer to train, and the skating company I work with in Saskatoon, the head guy was reached out to by Hugh and just asked if I was willing to come here this weekend and kind of be that ambassador role and a little bit of a role model for the kids, and that's obviously something I like to do, so it was an easy thing to jump onto.
So you're originally from Alberta, you said, and we've got a couple of Alberta kids coming to the tournament here. In terms of the overall ambassador role, what's your experience been so far?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to just be around the guys in the dressing room. I remember doing a similar kind of tournament when I was their age, and just having that guy you can kind of look up to and ask about their career so far. It's pretty cool to be in that environment.
I'm sure every dressing room has got some personalities, and now that we're getting a little later in there, any guys standing out?
Yeah, there's definitely a few. Obviously, the first couple hours were pretty shy and quiet, but as the weekends went on, it's definitely been a little more rowdy and a little more, I guess, fun to be around for everybody. So yeah, it's been good.
We talk a lot about what's going on outside of the actual surface of the ice and the game itself. What kind of input have you had in terms of talking to them about the off-ice aspects of being a hockey player?
Yeah, that's obviously it's really important, and that's something I am very high on, and Connor's preaching it to in the room. So whether it's your personality or how you act in the dressing room, and me and Connor have been on them quite a bit for keeping things tidy and looking good in the dressing room, and then obviously the workout aspect of it, even the warm-ups before the game. I like to play around a bit, but then obviously it's time to dial it in for the game, and then it was pretty cool to see what we had. The fitness testing here was pretty high end for a 2012 age group, so it's pretty cool to see that here this weekend.
So you're taking some time out of your summer. You said you're here doing some training and some skating work, and obviously working yourself. What does the rest of the summer look like for you?
Yeah, so I'm pretty fortunate. One of my brothers is a personal trainer and owns a gym in Prince Albert, so I get to work out there, which is really awesome. And then my other brother actually works for the skating company that I train with, and then my sister ends up living right in the middle of Saskatoon and Prince Albert, so pretty fortunate there that I got that opportunity. But yeah, just a lot of skating and working out. Obviously looking forward to my 20-year-old year in the Western Hockey League, and obviously it's the most important year for me, so looking forward to it.
Once again, Shane Smith from the Lethbridge Hurricanes, thanks a lot for coming out and taking some time with us. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. we're back for the final period of the round robin. And Team Black pouring on the shots, 40 shots on goal and 4 goals for their efforts. Meanwhile, Team Red looking for a solution to a Lachlan Horn showcase. He seems to have been locked in and kept things clear for his Black team, and we'll see if that continues. Red looking for an answer. Black looking to go into the playoffs with a second win. While we're waiting, the Up My Hockey podcast is the gold sponsor of the national events, the Series of 4. Up My Hockey with Jason Podolin, the podcast for players chasing their full potential from mindset to performance, is your go-to source for unlocking the next level in your game. And right off the get-go, puck back into the Reds zone, and Kahovic swings and misses on that one. Pilipo looking to go to Cecchini, his teammate, and Kahovic now in behind the net. Results, the centering pass is just picked up quickly. And Cecchini is taking a look, and he's being told to move it. You can hear the coaches saying, move that puck. Very secure in his abilities to do that. And Walter now, one of the goal scorers, and he's knocked off the puck by Barber, and that slides dangerously across the goal mouth, but nothing happens. Score stays 4-0, 1 minute in to the period, and we are going to get a penalty. It looks like a hooking call, and Hudson Gran going to the penalty box. And so Team Black going back onto the power play. And so we've got Unser out there on the first PK unit, and it looks like he's joined by Partington. Partington and Unser out as the forwards on the PK, and Partington tying up. Interesting strategy there, but he got above the much taller player and he neutralizes him, and then Partington now, he plays a bit of a physical game, which is exciting to see. He also had some scoring pieces, a little bit of balance there, and now Partington again, unable to chip it past Scheidel. He doesn't quit on this one, and he stays on Scheidel. Scheidel shielding the puck with his big body type, the 6-foot, 260-pound Nipawin product, still with the puck. And he'll dish it now down into the corner, and he is hard contact there, and we've seen a little bit from Drennan Blair. He's not afraid to mix things up in that corner. And now Bergen takes a look. Bergen looks up ice. Bergen still with the puck, and Red backing right off. He just decides he's going to carry it all the way in himself. Now Roth into Livingston. Livingston with the first goal of the game. Bergen now looking, he sees, doesn't see anything he likes, and he decides he's going to go across. Goes to Roth, and Roth's going to shoot it. Roth double clutches, that almost finds the back of the net, but it slides free. And it comes back up to Bergen. Bergen now with the shot, just a knuckler on the net, but enough for Yachishin to get his pad on it, and it stays out. Livingston now, 25 seconds to go in the power play. And Screen out there, and it looks like Partington still, and the shot. Partington taking the entire PK. Strain getting a chance to get off, and Partington, he's gassed, but he's going to stay out there, and we're back to even strength. Christian now coming out, and right out of the box, Gran, and Gran's going to have an opportunity here, and Gran is stopped again. Red still can't find a solution to Lachlan Horn. Gran thought he had a little bit of room there in the 5-hole spot, and not. And we thought maybe he would have gone up. They have not been able to solve Lachlan Horn. And here's another shot, and Horn, he's seen everything here. And that doesn't come completely by himself. That Black has done a really great job of just keeping things cleared in front. And he gets to see everything, and he's kept that all in front of him, and he's keeping 18 shots on net, and he stopped all 18 now. Filson up, taking the draw in his zone of Crashane, and Grimm fires it around, and now Fellner gets it up, and here comes Grimm, and he can't chase that one down, and it'll come all the way back. 16:29 to go in the third period. Babe's Physiotherapy have a local physiotherapist here in Martensville, are one of our local sponsors with expert care and individualized treatment plans. Babe's Physiotherapy has been keeping athletes healthy and game ready for 20 years. Babe's Physiotherapy, trusted care for every stage of the game. And we're in the late stages of this round robin round, and we talk a little bit about the role conditioning is going to play, and Bames, of course, doing a good job keeping the boys immediately healthy, but also coming in with a little bit of result. And oh, that puck almost on Kershane's stick. Coming up with a little bit of advice in terms of how to keep your body in good shape. And that puck there just in front again stays out. Maxime Christian holding fort there right in front of his goaltender. And he's knocking bodies all over the place. Bodies flying, and puck stays in though. And that puck centered, and a shot. And we now have solved it. Just a shot on there, and Team Red finds a way. And the goal scorer, Nolan Hubick, with the slap shot. And I'm not sure Lachlan Horn was able to see it. And just like that, Team Red on the board. And remember their ability to rally. Let's see it right away. Coach Middleton goes back to Kahovic and Gran and Lamotte. This time Gran at the center. These guys smell blood. This line were so lethal, and that shot right into Yashishin. And so Middleton choosing to go for the jugular here with one on the board. He puts out the speedy duo of Kahovic and Gran and Lamotte, complementing that duo. Let's see if that decision pays off here, and we've got the initial draw, and Kahovic unable to get it past that strong stick, and now we get that breakout. Oh, and Kahovic's stick got knocked out of his hand, and it kind of hamstrung Gran, and otherwise he was gone. And now goes Black, taking up the opportunity, and a shot off the outside of the post there. And Lamotte putting the body on Cicchini, but Cicchini bounces right back up, and he gets that puck in. He's all business focused there. And Cicchini now takes that pass, and out comes Black. They are Gontoniak now, and that shot. And that one's picked up. And cross-ice path put right on there, and what a, took a hit, Kahovic, and puts it on into Gran. Gran, really sharp angle there. He did have Lamotte. Might have wanted to put that into Lamotte's stick area, but Gran has also had some success sniping corners. And now Kahovic. And Kahovic, he is played well by Cicchini, and Cicchini, he's playing a very solid game, quietly put together. All 6 of those defenders for Team Black just been so great at keeping that slate clear in front of them. And another tumbling shot. Gran in the corner puts it in front. And Livingston, that's not going to go down as a shot on net, but Livingston's active stick doing a wonderful job there. He just steered that one where no one could get access, and out comes Black. A long pass. And Yashishin decides he's going to hang on to it. Maybe a good choice. Sometimes, oh, that puck there in front, though. Sometimes coaches don't want that icing to go. And we're going to get an interference call here, which is going to put Team Red on the power play. They're going to get a little extended time, and Horn locks it down, save. But we're going to have an interference call here against Filson. Oh, looks like Bergen is going to go in. And Team Red, already 1 goal in the period, and we're going to see if they're able to capitalize on this man advantage. They, of course, killed off 3 penalties in that second period, and 13-17 to go in the game. We're going to see if they can get themselves within 2 here with some good play. And already, right off, Partington, his shot, Unser and Partington out there. And a battle with Roth in front of the net, just trying to get something going on here. Strain. And that's fun to watch, that advantage or that play. And that puck just across Mahalitz. And Mahalitz sticks with it. He goes across, and it's into the stick area of Gruder. And now, and of course, we're mindful of these are 12 and 13-year-olds, so these one-timer attempts, as they get stronger, and they talk so much about that off-ice training, they'll be able to lean on those sticks a little bit harder as they get a little bigger. And those one-timers, it's important for them to continue to try them. I know sometimes fanning on those shots could be maybe a little bit of a kick to the ego, but they just keep trying, and eventually, when they get a little bit more bulk on them, they're going to be able to do that. So coming now in is Kershane. Still time on the penalty, 45 seconds, pardon me. And we've got Barber down there, I think, and Barber, and that puck comes up to Switzer. Switzer, shot on net, and that's exactly what you want to see. At 6 to 8 inches off the ice. But Hubik unable to get a stick free. And that's probably because of the work of Keenan Williams. Williams had him a little bit off. And then Hubik unable to make good on the tip in the front. But Red's going to have to get somebody in front of Livingston. He's stopping everything he can see, and that was probably the key in that first goal. He didn't see that shot. And Red's strategy is going to have to be that they're going to have to get some traffic in front, but in order to do that, they've got to solve the size and aggressive play of those 6 D-men for Team Black. And there you go, Cicchini able to dump that puck down. Yeah, these 6 fellas have been fantastic as a unit. They've been keeping things clear for their goaltender, and like we saw there, Cicchini able to clear that puck. And here he comes again. Oh, this time he's unable, and Walter now, and that penalty is elapsed. And Walter with a shot, and we might be setting a record here for number of crossbars hit all morning. I count that to be about 8 or 9 that have gone off the iron. Focus Goaltending, a big shout out to them, the leaders in elite goalie development and proud supporters of UMH-68 Saskatchewan. This year they're going the extra mile, providing personalized write-ups on each of these 8 goalies that we see here, highlighting their strength, style, and potential. And that kind of works so valuable. And a shot, that's a tough one to stop, and that looks like Livingston. Livingston with his second goal. And he is not afraid to shoot. And on the topic of goaltending, not necessarily the fault of the goalie there. He was left wide open. Focus Goaltending, of course, shaping the next generation of elite netminders, one save at a time. And that 4-goal lead extended, 10:52 remaining in the third period. Scheidel now. And there's Grand with the shot, and he decides this time he's going to go high. He's tried a couple of times to go 5-hole, and Horn has been good and up for the challenge. So maybe Scheidel or Grant adjusting his sights a little bit. Kovic now. Ooh, that one might have been a little bit of a hook there, but I'm of course not wearing the stripes. So undaunted, Grant, oh, now we go, yeah. Grant moving there really tough. And you can see sometimes the size of these Black defenders, he might have gotten away with it the first time, but Gran, his mindset, he's a little shaken up there. He got piled on at the end of that one, but he is going to pop up, and it's good to see him skating it off. But you know, as coaching on defenders, they're What's been a big strength for theirs, of course, they have been able to knock them off the puck that time. Unfortunately, it puts Roth in the box. But Black's PK has been on point here too, and we'll see now if Strain and his line are able to get a little bit of traction going here.
Team Black goal scored by number
And down now comes Grimm. Grimm's going to try to feather a pass across to Filson, and Filson
time of goal at 10 minutes and
Filson just content to kill some time, and there's a shot just wide by Grimm. Keeping in mind, Black is on the PK.
Team Black.
And now Unser looking for somebody, and
Those 2 minutes for
Red a little bit slow coming into the zone there, and a little bit of get up and go. There were 3 guys kind of taking their time getting into the zone, and Unser was ready to set things up. And now Drennan Blair, his shot gloved it down and knocked away. Now let's see if they've got a little bit more oomph in their step, but like we said, we're getting into a conditioning part here, and it's getting close. We're almost at the summer break, and these guys turn now, and turn from his defensive spot with that shot. Oh, not a bad, and a goal. And a little bit of a conversation as to whether that puck was blown dead or not, but sometimes the bounces go your way, and Partington, he capitalizes on that opportunity. It's a power play goal for Team Red. And Black still holding a 3-goal lead. And I think Cicchini having conversation there just to talk about his sense on that. He probably has a case there. That puck did seem to have been blown dead, but we got to remember that everybody's got the human element here, and there have been a number of times where Red's probably almost been on the thing, so maybe a little puck luck there won't hurt him. And the shot from Pilipo, and it is steered wide, and we get some cheering. We've had some good crowds here at Martensville Recreation Center. A little dreary outside today, so that's kind of helping out the rink on the second official day of summer, actually. Not a bad place to hang out. And we are back out here again looking for the puck drop. 8:51 to go in the third period. And we're going to get ourselves a draw here. And Guntoniuk, he gets a good challenge out there. And Guntoniuk now coming in, and he gets a shot. He decides to go low. And that's Yachishin able to stop that. And then Scheidel now with the feed. And Guntoniuk again down there in the corner. Mahulitz, he gets in there, and on Roth now. Roth feeds Scheidel. Scheidel walking right in, and he's got it. Big stop by Yachishin. And he
time of goal 9 minutes and 20.
he's able to.
That was number 10, Partington, assisted by number 6, Turin, and number 29, Yachishin.
And Yachishin, I just heard over the intercom, picking up the second assist on that. So he makes the stop, and he gets a point there. Rare goalie assist, but I'm sure he'll be excited about that, but maybe not so about the score at the moment. And a little bit of activity at the end of that, and both boys are going to go off. The ref's done a good job of letting them get some experience in putting a little bit of after whistle play, but by putting them both in the box, he does hurt the teams, and it continues to allow the play to go uninhibited. But that kind of unofficial part of the game is very important too. And so the officials doing a good job of doing their part, making sure. And now in comes Blair. Blair's pass over to Switzer, and that doesn't quite get its way through. And now the puck in there, and we've got the lineup of Gran and Kahovic. And Gran hoping for a little bit of an extra special day. It is his birthday today. He's the only player in the tournament that's celebrating a birthday, and today's the day. And just like that, Lamont maybe wrapping a present for Gran. And that brings us to within 2. And given the style of play that we've seen, this game is far from over. And maybe the birthday boy will have a little more to celebrate here. We'll see. And he's going to get an opportunity to catch his breath, maybe have a couple words with his line mate Lamont, and they might have some more to say later in this tournament and later in this game. Filson now taking the face-off and strain. Filson wins that one, goes back now to Pilipo. And the puck down low, and we're looking, and we'll see, maybe Drennan Blair is going to do one of his long things. Nope, he goes for the long ice pass, probably a good idea. Partington now coming down, Partington, and Partington, he's stripped of the puck, and that puck, oh, still stays in. Partington now tries the stick check, slapper, and that one goes a little wide, but more Pepin, Team Red step for sure. And let's see, Blair's got some room in front of him. And he looking for an outlet, and that goes for an icing call. 6:53 to go. Team Black holding on to a 2-goal lead. And as mentioned, the tiebreaker in this format is the head-to-head competition. And so should Team Red be the victors here, they could finish based on their result in the game against Team Gray, and they lost to Team Gray, so Team Gray would finish first in that event. Team Black wins this, Team Black wins first in this event. And so we still have a little bit, obviously Black up on the score clock at the moment, and they would have that opportunity to be first. And incidentally, the third place finish spot could still place, depending on this result, Team Blue, with that opening win that they had, despite their problems, they may end up in third still. And Kershane loses his stick, and he's going to pick it up. Blair now up, and we've got a break here now. Rogers gets in tight, and right locked in again, Lachlan Horn. How many times today has Horn had the answer? And that's going to factor in huge later in the tournament. We still got 2 more games left in the final rounds here, and he is playing some amazing inspired hockey. Another save, and he continues to maintain that high level of play that he started this game. And he might be needed because Red really coming in, and Grimm now coming in to see if they can't get back to their ways. One of the goal scorers, Hubick, pops that out. Now Kahovic comes in, puts a little pressure on, and that puck all the way back to Yachishin. And now Switzer plays it back to Mahalitz. Mahalitz under pressure from Grimm. And Mahalitz calmly putting it up. Now the birthday boy, Hudson Grand, would love nothing more than to make this game a little closer. Unselfishly passes it out, not just at the top of the glove. And now Grand, that's where he loves to be. Oh! He's got such a great vision when he's behind the net. And the other 4 guys weren't on the same page there, or else he had them set up beautifully. Kahovic. And they have to go back. And Mahalitz now up to Lamont, who has the most recent goal. He gets it up to Kahovic. Kahovic over to Grand. Now, as we mentioned, Grand looking at his stick, but these guys are still developing. Grand now gets some wood on that one. We've got their weights on the program, but sometimes they're a little embellished, and you know, leaning in on that stick as they get bigger, those shots are going to take a little bit more bite. And we've got a timeout, and I think Coach Middleton may be taking a serious look at pulling a goalie with that opportunity. So, and so we'll see what Coach Middleton, and we'll keep an eye on his goaltender, Gunnar Yachishin, who's come up with a couple of big stops here, putting his Team Red into position. Team Red with the surge here. And we'll see how this ends up. Boston Pizza, we're getting around lunchtime here, and all these coaches and all these players, and heck, even the broadcast crew here, we've been treated very well by the local Boston Pizza at UMH-68. Their incredible support by fueling our players with meals at the banquet and the coaches and officials' meals. Boston Pizza, great food, good times, and proud supporters of youth hockey coming up big. And we want to draw your attention. We are going to have player awards at the end of this, as we do with all of our games. 4 players will be recognized. The Weatherspoon Realty Games Grit and Grind Award. And coming out of that break, Team Red electing not yet to go with a couple of bodies flying there, not pulling the goalie yet. And Matt might have been a good choice because now Black coming up. And Walter, he's able to get that puck, but there may have been an instruction as to when they may want to pull that goaltender. Remember, it's head-to-head, not goal differential here, so getting a goal scored on you and that, and there's Bergen now, and Bergen, oh, good save, Yachishin. So the goal differential doesn't really matter here, it's more who beats who. And man, I don't even want to attempt the math if this is a tie. I suppose first to be known, but coming on in here, Walter again, and another stop. Yachishin has been fantastic in this third period. He's really zoned in, and both goaltenders actually working really well. When you consider the number of goals we had into the 20s in some of our previous goals at the end, and both attendees doing a great job. Doing a great job backstopping their teams. 3:18 to go. Team Black now getting pretty close to that 50 shot marker. They've been pouring it on, and Team Red, they are looking in. And they've now got the goalie out for the extra attacker. 3:18 and 2 goals to make up. And we'll see what they're able to do. Puck right on the stick. We've got Turin and Blair back on defense, and then 4 forwards up. Rogers, who's got a couple goals in the tournament, coupled in there, and he looks like he's in there. Let's probably with Unser. Yep, Unser, and now a little bit of a break, but great play by Turin. He isn't giving any room with that empty net, and Turin somehow comes up without his stick. And he now able to have the time to pick it up, but just a smart play on his part, ties up that guy, and now here comes Blair. Blair on the stick of Rogers. And Rogers able to pick the corner sometimes, and he just, that might have hit the butt end of Horn's stick, and I wouldn't doubt it. Horn had eyes on that the whole way, and we talked about the influence that the 6 defenders for Team Black, and they have just gotten better as the tournament's gone on, providing some scoring touch at first, and that one will be an icing. But Horns had an amazing game, but the 6 guys in front of him have done such a wonderful job clearing things out. He's seen it all almost, and so Red continuing though, putting the pressure on. 2:08. Still with the extra attacker on, and they're looking, and Kahovic out now. So we're going to see Lamont, Kahovic, Gran, and we'll see who they've added on there. And it looks like Kubik with one of the goals here. And now Black working their way up. And we'll see if Parkinson is able to get there. And Baholitz now calmly. And they're having to recoil back into their own zone. And here's Kubik now. And now a shot long. That won't count because it's offside. There was a player in there, so a break for Team Red. We weren't able to clear that offside, and so it'll be we'll see as to where that face-off is going at. Sometimes you see them take it all the way back. That the official explaining just why that goal doesn't count. And it was primarily we weren't able to clear that offside, and now we get back to the face-off. Some confidence here in Gran, and sure enough, Gran able to win that face-off. That was a big one because they were only about 80 feet from that empty goal mouth. And reminder, just stay tuned afterward for the game's Grit and Grind Award, courtesy of Weatherspoon Realty. Weatherspoon Realty is one of the top 20 producing real estate agents worldwide and ranked number 2 in Canada for the most homes sold. Our experience speaks for itself. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team that delivers results. And that puck just wide. And now Switzer, the Alberta product, he pops it up. Puck gets on the stick of Quo. And now really it's a numbers game for Black. Cicchini, he just retains possession. And this is actually not a bad idea. Just chew time off that clock. Hard to score if you don't have the puck. And Bergen, he's able to go up. And Pride of Hague, Saskatchewan, and that puck shot. And Walter adds to his point scoring total. And it looks like Team Black are going to most likely win this game, their second win in a row. And that's going to place them in first place. And then Team Gray will take second, and it's likely going to be Gray taking on Red here based off of what we've seen. And we're just thinking back to the Red taking it to Blue. So in the head-to-head there, they'll finish ahead of Blue. And so it'll be Team Gray and Team Red in the 2-3 game, and Team Black.
Jackson Walter
And Team Black will be taking on, and now Black just on slot, and they are in. Red kind of, after being so keyed up there, they let down of that empty netter, and Team Black able to get in there, and this time it is a pinching Declan Scheidel, and I think Scheidel had a goal yesterday and might be his first of the tournament. That's got to feel good. He's played an excellent game. He and Roth as a good defensive pairing there. You like to see the defenders getting a chance to get a little bit of time on the score sheet too. Their most important aspect of this game has been just the suffocating defense that they used to nullify that potent Red. Keep in mind that Red team scored 14 goals yesterday and limited to just 3 on 29 shots. If you can give a grit and grind award, you're probably going to give it, if you could give it to an entire unit, I would say probably go to the 7 guys, the 6 defensemen, and that amazing performance by Horn. But Horn's got to factor somewhere into these 4 presentations here, so you can stick around. That ends the round robin, and Black celebrating back-to-back wins, and they will take first place. And Team Red, lots of good elements there. A little bit of a regroup required, and they are going to hold down that 3rd place game, and they'll face Team Gray and have a little bit of an opportunity to get some redemption. Of course, it was Team Gray that took it to them in the morning game yesterday, and so they'll have an opportunity. And both goalies starting off the procession. Horn playing very well, and Yachishin, as mentioned, he did an excellent job in lockdown. Thiel for the longest time, so solid in the start of this game. And that goalie duo, more than 50 shots that were poured in there. So again, pretty excited to have Weatherspoon Realty join us as sponsors for the company. They are the sponsors of the 3-Star Awards. We're proud to have Ritchie Brothers as the official sponsor of the 3 stars of the game at UMH-68. But first off, the Grit and Grind Award, and Weatherspoon Realty, the sponsor, the realtor, number 20 worldwide, number 2 here in Canada in terms of homes sold. And the winner's Grit and Grind Award winner,
$30 to Boston Pizza. Our Grit and Grind winner for today is Team Red.
The team winner
Number 17
goes to Carson Lamont, and Lamont with one of the goals there. And he had a couple of hits in the endeavor too. And he picks up the Grit and Grind Award, the Foothills Bisons product.
And now for the 3 stars of
in the Alberta Elite League with the winner, and the 3rd star, Ritchie Brothers, 3rd star,
3 stars of the game at UMH-68 Saskatchewan,
is
recognizing the top performers and celebrating excellence on the
Ritchie
ice.
Brothers, the local auctioneer company. The 3rd star going to
Team Black.
Team Black's number 17, Braden Quo, and he had a goal and a couple of helpers in the endeavor, and he picks up the 3rd star. Nice gift certificate to Boston Pizza, or many of us are going to be going for lunch here. Team Red. And I think we got the number down there, Team Red.
Number 33, Team Red.
Brian Thiel. And it's going to be Brian Thiel there. We got our things with Odejuteo. Thiel, a really deserving recipient there.
Sorry,
He was locked
that
down.
was Brian D. Thiel.
All right, and now we are
And the
going to get
first
our
star
first
taking
star.
From Team Black.
Team Blacks, number 10, Rylan Bergen, up for the star selection. And he'll feel good about his performance there too. 2 red, 2 black.
Your 3 stars today are all
And that was a fairly tight affair. And
Just a
these
reminder
guys.
to pick up your UMH-68 merch.
Well, once again, thank you for tuning in. And now, the later features will be our semifinal games being held tonight. Make sure you tune in and find out who's going through the medal round games tomorrow. All 4 teams actually will be making it through to win and go after that UM68 title. Thanks for checking in, and we